Please, now we start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayam Hudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhavatta Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna Dandot Prana. Today reviewing Srimad Bhagwatam Canto 11 chapter 25, the three modes and beyond. Sloka number 13, 13 to 24. Yada itaro jayat sattvam bhaswaram vishadam shivam tada sukena yudhid dharma dhyana adibhi puman yada jayat tamah sattvam raja sangam bhidachalam tada dukkena yujjat karmana yasya. Yada jaitrajah sattvam tamamudam layam jadam yujjeta shokomohabhyam nidraya ainsaya ashaya yada chittam prasideta indriyanam sangam tat sattvam vidadi matpadam vikurvan kriyaya cha adhira nivrutti cha chaitasam gatra aswastham manah bhrantam raja सिदत चित्तम विलियेत चेतसा ग्रहणे अक्षमम मना नष्टम तमः ग्लानि तमः तत् उपधारय यदमाणे गुणे सत्वे देवानां बलम एधते असुराणां च रजसि तमसि उद्धव रक्षसाम्. सत्वात जागरणं विद्यात रचिता स्वप्नम आदिशेत प्रस्वापम सा जंतः तुरेम त्रिषु संततम उपरि उपरि गच्छन्ति सत्वेन ब्राह्मणः जनाः तमसा अधः तमसा तमसा अधः अधः आमुख्यात रजसा अंतरचारिणः. सत्वे प्रलीना स्वः यान्ति नरलोकं रजोलयाः मोहलयो निरयं यान्ति माम एव निर्गुणः मत् अर्पणं निष्फलं वा सात्विकं निज कर्म तत् राज हिंसा प्रायादि तामसं ऐसाकं ज्ञानं प्रज वैकल्पिकं च यत् प्राकृतं तामसं ज्ञानं मत्निष्ठं निर्गुणं स्मृतम्. Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the mode of goodness, which is luminous, pure and auspicious, predominates over a man become endued with happiness, virtue, knowledge, and other good qualities. When the mode of passion, which causes attachment, separatism, and activity, conquers ignorance and goodness, a man begins to work hard to acquire prestige and fortune. Thus, in the mode of passion, he experiences and struggle. When the mode of ignorance conquers passion and goodness, it covers one's consciousness and makes one foolish and dull, falling into lamentation and illusion. Mode of ignorance sleeps excessively, indulges in false hopes, and display violence toward others. When consciousness becomes clear and the senses detached from matter, one experiences fearlessness within the material body and detached from the material mind. You should understand this situation to be an predominance of the mode of goodness in which one has the opportunity to realize me. You should discern the mode of passion by its symptoms, the distortion of intelligence because of too much activity, the inability of the perceiving senses to entangle themselves from mundane objects, condition of the working physical organs, and the unsteady of the mind. When one and finally disappears, and one is thus unable to concentrate, his mind is ruined and manifest ignorance and depression. You should understand this situation to be the freedom of the mode of ignorance. With the increase of the mode of goodness, simply increases. When passion increases, the demoniac becomes strong, and with the rise of ignorance, oh Dhava, the strength of the most wicked increases. It should be understood that alert wakefulness comes from the mode of sleep with dreaming from the mode of passion, and deep dreamless sleep from the mode of ignorance. The fourth state of consciousness pervades these three, and it's transcendental. Learned person dedicated to Vedic culture are led by the mode of goodness to higher and higher positions. The mode of ignorance, on the other hand, forces on to fall headfirst into lower and lower birth. By the mode of passion, one continues transmigrating through human bodies. Those who live this world in the mode of goodness go to the heavenly planets. Those who remain in the world of human and those dying in the mode must go ahead. But those who are free from the influence of all modes of nature come to me as an offering to me without consideration of the fruit is considered to be in the mode of goodness. Work desire to enjoy the result is in the mode of passion, and work impelled by violence and envy is in the mode of ignorance. Absolute knowledge is in the mode of goodness. Knowledge based on duality is in the mode of passion, and foolish materialistic knowledge in the mode of ignorance. Knowledge based upon me, however, is understood to be transcendent और पढ़वे द श्रीला प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. One can one's mind and senses in the mode of goodness. Our original Krishna consciousness exists eternally within the soul. It is also present in all the three stages of awareness, namely normal wakefulness, dreamless sleep. Being covered by the modes of nature, this spiritual consciousness may not be manifest, but it continues to exist eternally as the real nature of the living entity. As persons in the mode of ignorance are generally in deep illusion about the purpose of life, except in the gross material world as the same. Those in passion and ignorance are called Vaishyas and hanker intensely for wealth, whereas Kshatriyas, who are in the mode of passion, are eager for prestige and power. Those in the mode of goodness, however, hanker after perfect knowledge. They are therefore called Brahmanas. Such a person is promoted up to the supreme material position of Brahmaloka, the planet of Lord Brahma. One who is in the mode of ignorance gradually falls to the level of unmoving species, such as trees and stones, while one in the with material desire, but satisfying it within Vedic culture is allowed to remain in human society. Ordinary work performed as an offering to God without desire for the result is understood to be in the mode of goodness, whereas activities of devotion, such as chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord, are transcendental forms of work beyond the modes of nature. The Lord clearly explains here that the spiritual knowledge of his supreme personality of is transcendental to ordinary religious knowledge. In the mode of goodness, in the mode of goodness, one understand the existence of a higher spiritual nature within all things. In the mode of passion, one acquires scientific knowledge of the material body, and in the mode of ignorance, one fixes one's mind on the sense objects without higher awareness, perceiving the small child, a retarded person does. Srila Jiva Goswami elaborate explain in his commentary on this verse that the material mode of goodness does not award perfect knowledge of absolute truth. He quotes from Srimad Bhagwatam 6.14.2, proving that many great demigods in the mode of goodness could not understand the transcendental personality of Lord Krishna. In the material mode of goodness, one becomes pious or religious, aware of a higher and spiritual nature. Spiritual platform of purified goodness, however, one establishes a direct loving relationship with the absolute truth, rendering service to the Lord rather than merely maintaining a connection to mundane piety. In the mode of passion, the conditioned soul speculates about the reality of his own existence and of the world around him and considers speculatively the existence of a kingdom of God. In the mode of ignorance, one acquires knowledge for sense gratification, absorbing the mind in varieties of eating, sleeping, depending, and sex without any higher purpose. Thus, within the modes of nature, the conditioned souls are trying to gratify the senses, and else they are trying to free themselves from sense gratification, but they cannot directly engage themselves in their constitutional liberated activities until they come to the transcendental position of Krishna consciousness beyond the mode of nature. Thus end the purpose. Om मिलितम एन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टम स्थापितम एन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सहाद्वैतं सातं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पत कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम. Now today we continue Srimad Bhagwatam Canto 11 chapter 25, the three modes, and from shloka number 13 to 24. Yesterday we know about that one purifies his mind in service of the Lord Krishna. The modes of nature can no longer act upon him since they have no influence on the spiritual platform. Means they are beyond the three modes. According to name, here about discussing about three modes, and uh, behind that, what is that called beyond? Means if someone is nothing on the mode of goodness or passion or ignorance. Above there, what happened if someone is on three gunas beyond, uh, three gunas behind? What happened? That discussion is coming in today's shlokas. One controls his mind and senses according to the his activity and his mentality. When he goes above three modes, then uh, how he go behind that, about the chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. When he heard and he perform his ordinary work as offering to Lord without desire for the result, and without in any mode, all they come goes above the behind the mode of nature that described here. uh, then all these describing about the transcendental position of the Krishna consciousness. And Prabhuji will tell you in detail. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhescha कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna Dandavat.
So Krishna has already proven to us that what is most important is control of the mind. So the obvious explanation, obvious question which comes to our mind is, how do we control this mind? Because it is said that the mind is so fast that it can travel anywhere. So right now we may be talking, but maybe someone of you may be thinking, oh, Radha Kunj Bihari may be there. The gates may be closing right now, maybe being put to sleep. Or maybe one of you is at Jagannath Puri thinking about, oh, the eyes of Lord Jagannath, so big and bright, so beautiful, so wonderful dressing today to them. Ah, I am here. And actually, you may be there right now because of your mind. Mind is very flickering. It can travel the fastest. And if the mind is in control, then it is the best friend. But an uncontrolled mind is the worst enemy that anyone can have. And similarly is senses. If you don't have your senses in control, then they will drag your mind away. So Krishna is explaining to us how do we actually control them. So Krishna says that Satogun, that is the mode of goodness. It is luminous, it is pure, it is auspicious. And the best part is it can predominate over passion and ignorance. So when this is happening, then the person becomes endowed with happiness, virtue, knowledge. So indirectly Krishna is saying that if you want to control the mind and the senses, then we have to achieve the mode of goodness. Because if you are in mode of passion, then what it does is it becomes a cause of attachment, separatism. It many a times overcomes ignorance and goodness. And in that situation, we work hard to acquire prestige, to acquire fortune. So we are always experiencing anxiety and struggle. And when mode of ignorance is higher, then the whole consciousness is covered. We become foolish and most of the time lamenting, being in illusion. We keep on sleeping continuously. We indulge in false hopes. and at times display violence as well. And this is something which is predominantly observed. And in fact, April, May, June are the months when we see this is very high, because all the employees, they have false hopes that there are going to be increments, appraisals. But then that is mode of ignorance. What is important is to have the consciousness clear and the senses detached from matter. Because when this happens, we can experience fearlessness within the material body and detachment from the material aspects of mind. This situation can be achieved in the mode of goodness only. And it is only when we are in such situation that we have the opportunity to realize Krishna. So we should discern the mode of passion, whose symptoms are like distortion of knowledge because there's too much of activity, inability of perceiving senses, or unhealthy condition of the working physical organs, and continuous perplexity of the mind. So when our awareness fails, and in some cases it actually disappears as well, and we are unable to concentrate the attention, the mind is ruined. And at that time, we see the manifestation of ignorance and depression. So when patients come to us with these complaints, we actually tell them to start looking at a higher test. And we have found tremendous results. In fact, there are so many researches going on Hare Krishna meditation and its effect on not only psychological health, but even physical illnesses such as cancer. So yesterday we were discussing with His Grace Radhesham Prabhuji, and he was explaining, yes, you have to do it so that the importance of the Mahamantra can be brought to the masses. And this is what Krishna is doing. He's making us understand the importance of goodness and the problems which are associated with, say, passion and ignorance. If there is an increase in the mode of goodness, the strength of demigods increases. When passion increases, the demoniacs become strong. And when ignorance increases, the wickedness increases. So it is very important that alert wakefulness is necessary, and that can come from goodness only. When we are talking about sleep, then it is from mode of passion. Sleep with dreams, and dreamless deep sleep is ignorance. So Krishna consciousness is eternal within the soul. And it is there in all states, whether wakefulness, dreaming, dreamless, but being covered by the modes of nature. Spiritual consciousness does not manifest. And that is where our duty comes up, to ensure that we become learned and grow. Because the moment we dedicate to Vedic culture, we will be elevated by the mode of goodness to higher and higher positions. While ignorance will make us to fall lower and lower birds. And passion will make us continue in the transmigration. So we have to always be in the mode of goodness. But even there, we don't want to go to the higher planets. We actually want to transcend even that, which is possible with pure goodness. Shuddha Sato Gunaha. And that can be achieved when we actually start our sadhana in Bhakti Yoga. The material mode of goodness does not award perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. What awards it is Shuddha Sato Gunaha. Maybe we can become pious or religious, aware of higher spiritual nature. But on the spiritual platform, we have to establish a direct relationship, loving relationship with Krishna, rendering service to Him, rather than only maintaining mundane piety. So let us try to do it. Let us keep ourselves engaged in some service or the other to Krishna and be successful in our endeavors to achieve the ultimate objective of our life, which is Krishna Prem. What we just need is the mercy of the devotees, the association, ensuring our chanting is perfect, taking Krishna Prasadam, engaging in deity worship, or engaging in any kind of a seva to the devotees. Hare Krishna.